And hi everyone, we're now heading off to the game for the third place in the women's category in the World Tchoukball Championship. It's gonna be played by Team Hong Kong in the red jerseys and Team Taiwan in the white ones. Now we see the roster for the team Hong Kong. And the roster for team Taiwan.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and we are back on the final day of World Tchoukball Championship 2023, and right now we are looking forward for the bronze medal contest in women category. So be ready, because right now I am introducing the main referee. The main referee of bronze medal contest is from Italy, Paolo Dosani. And the side referee and colleagues of Paolo Dolzani is Niwa Pukasa, Cameroon. And it's my big pleasure to invite also Eleonora Abutu, Italy. Okay, and right now we are ready with the team of Hong Kong and also Chinese Taipei. So please, both team Hong Kong and Taipei. Yes, we are here for Hong Kong and Captain Cheng Wai-yan. Cheng Wang-yan and her team of Hong Kong.
This is my team. Number 3, Lau Wing-yu. Number 6, Wei Hu-ying. Number 7, Chen Si-yi. Number 8, Lim Pat-hei. Number 9, Ho Hoi-ling. Number 11, Yun Yan-yan. Number 16, Wang Man-yi. Number 18, Quan Wing-lam. Number 26, Yu Hu-yang. Number 35, Yu Ge-man. Number 73, Leung Cho-ying.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, the team of Hong Kong. And Wu Ya-yu is the captain of the team of Chinese Taipei.
1号叶嘉欣，2号廖玲慧，3号陈嘉欣，4号陈梦琪，5号蔡涵玲，6号庄雅玲，7号许嘉龙，8号于可云，10号邱千玉，11叶嘉鹏，12何嘉云 教练刘心富。
Thank you very much. We start in 1 minute. Please, one again, make some noise for team of Hong Kong and Chinese Taipei. The match about the bronze medal on the 10th World Championship 2023.
Matt, can you send those to me?
Yeah, I send you the.
You join us live for the bronze medal playoff in the women's competition. Hong Kong bringing the ball in from the back to the right-hand side. Switched across twice, 3 times, and finished. The Taiwanese just not quite moving around the D there.
Excellent switch there.
Chinese Taipei bringing the ball in the back from the left. In at 45, across and back across the D again. And again, a similar angle of shot, but Hong Kong picking that up.
Hong Kong have
Spinny
been
shot
defending
across.
superbly this tournament.
Just a slight mistake there. The left shooter not ready to receive the ball. Number 4 brings the ball in for Chinese Taipei. Switched across left-handed, a high-armed shot, but the center referee, Paolo Dolzani, calling landing. Hong Kong now with a breakdown. Across the D. And a spun shot in between the Chinese Taipei defender and right shooter. And the right shooter just can't quite get her hands on that.
Excellent noise coming from the Hong Kong crowd.
The atmosphere genuinely has been brilliant at this tournament. Chinese Taipei switching again at 45 degrees across. Now the long ball to the other end, the other defender. She's got to shoot, and she does a powerful shot through onto second line. Hong Kong have no answer for that.
How challenging will Chinese Taipei finding it playing today after their marathon of a match against Italy yesterday in the semi-final?
I think there's some element of having to pick yourself back up from a disappointing match. Such a tight one there. Hong Kong again working through the Chinese Taipei defence. The score as broadcast is not quite the one that we're seeing. You see 2-1 on your screens at home. It is in fact 3-1 on the scoreboards here. But yes, Mac, you're absolutely right. The match yesterday was a complete marathon. Genuinely exciting game to watch. And Hong Kong break through again the Chinese Taipei defence. They seem to be picking on that gap between the defender and the right shooter. Score now correct on the live stream. Chinese Taipei bringing the ball in from the back, but returning it to the other end. Left-handed left shooter switches across, and the right shooter again powerfully at shoulder height puts it through the Hong Kong defence.
Hong Kong have made it to this bronze medal match the hard way. They had to beat Singapore in the quarter-final. They must be absolutely buzzing to be here.
Absolutely. And again, Hong Kong just finding the gap there. Yes, Hong Kong having beaten Singapore, lost to Switzerland in the semi-finals, and now find themselves in the lead at the beginning of this bronze medal match. Chinese Taipei are called travelling as the right shooter runs in there to try and put the ball again at shoulder height. Hong Kong number 7 brings the ball in from the breakdown. Athletic work from the defender, switch across from Hong Kong, but that's a given point, just slipping out her hand there.
It is very humid in the sports hall. They have to make sure that the ball is within possession before they try elaborate moves.
Absolutely right. You feel in a game that will be as close as this, when you see how close the Chinese Taipei were to Italy, and how close in general the defending has been in this women's tournament, that it will come down to the smallest of margins, and if you can minimise the number of errors that you make, that will absolutely add into that as well. Chinese Taipei switching across the D and now switching back. Shoots about 45 at the left shooter from Hong Kong, who moved into the gap nicely but just couldn't quite gather it in. Ball in from the back now from Hong Kong. Moved across to the right shooter. Switched to the left. And a given point again, just bouncing within the D before it got to the Chinese Taipei defence, and Hong Kong will again bring the ball in from the back line. In centrally to the defender, who looks out to the left but options it to the right. Back to the left, shooting, and Chinese Taipei catch it in central defence. To the left, back to the right, the triple now, and again Hong Kong catch it, one pass down. Careful now for the 3 seconds to the right shooter, who again takes it. Now 3 shots at that end, and Chinese Taipei are gesturing that the ball needs to be shot at the other end to avoid the error being given. Switched across to the left shooter, and that bounce just beyond the line. An accurate and low shot there, the hardest to defend.
Nearly uncatchable when you get a shot off like that.
Score now level at 6-6. Hong Kong with the ball from the back, switched across to the left and back to the right. Tries to put it into the 20-degree gap, and she manages it there. The Chinese Taipei left shooter just not quite able to pick it up. Chinese Taipei with the ball back in from the back line, returned to the same end. The defender to the right shooter, who takes the first-time shot, but it's a given point bouncing within the D. Chiara Cecchi, the end referee from Italy there. Apologies, Eleonora, the end referee there. My mistake. Chinese Taipei with an excellent shot down the line outside the Hong Kong defence, who had no answer for it. Hong Kong now with the ball in the back, but returning it to the same end. The defender plays it to the left shooter, switches it to the right shooter, and I thought the referee was about to give the point there. The centre referee has now called that it will be a breakdown to the attacking team as Hong Kong, as the referees were unsure whether that had bounced inside or outside the forbidden zone. Hong Kong will now take the ball at the breakdown.
in a game as close as this, calls like that could be absolutely vital. Referees not wanting to make any mistakes here.
Absolutely right. Hong Kong catching the shot from Chinese Taipei there, but another error as they try to feed the ball to the other end, just out of court, the ball just too long to receive. The Chinese Taipei left shooter switches back across the right and the left-hander putting it down the line. Hong Kong have no answer to that. From what Mac was talking about there with the referees, it's natural that in a game as fast as this, and with so many things to watch out for, that it's natural that referees will make mistakes, but the high quality of the refereeing that we've seen here, and the fact that they work as a team looks to eliminate those mistakes in the first place. And the code of the Tchoukball Charter, what the players should always be playing to, ensures that if the referees have missed something and the players notice it, then they should be calling that themselves.
Interestingly, Chinese Taipei there mixing up their switching order. The final shooter being right-handed on this occasion, when perhaps Hong Kong were expecting a left-hander.
The element of surprise working there for Chinese Taipei, and Hong Kong again conceding a given point, bouncing in the forbidden zone. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mac, I think that may be the first time Chinese Taipei have taken the lead in this match. Now they lead 10-9.
There is never a bad time to take the lead in the game of tchoukball.
Very true indeed. Hong Kong with an excellent shot at about 80 degrees between the defender and the right shooter of Chinese Taipei. Levels the score up at 10-all as we are 8 minutes into this match. Enthralling already. Chinese Taipei attempting to option the ball out there to their centre player, but just not quite on the same wavelength. Hong Kong take the ball, feeding in from the back. Switch across, and the triple there, and that's scored. I had thought it was very close to landing on the switch there from what we could see, but the referees with a better view than us deemed that the point was valid. Chinese Taipei bringing the ball into the right, returning it down the same end to the defender who plays it to the right shooter. Switch to the left shooter who's got to shoot. High second line, and the Hong Kong second line just can't quite get their hands on that now. Something we're seeing a lot in this match, Mac, is the ball coming in from the back line to the defender who then sends it straight back down the same end. I don't know if that's them trying to set the plays that they want, or a particular tactic they've picked up. The long ball there from Hong Kong, something we haven't really seen so far. Not quite successful, an excellent catch on the front line from Chinese Taipei. Sending it back down the other end to the right shooter. One pass left, switch to the left shooter. Left-handed and through the Hong Kong defence there.
Your point, Dom, is very valid. When you're playing a defence as tight as Hong Kong, who have had one of the tightest defences in this tournament, you have to choose your shots very carefully, and if they have a favoured shooting end, they will use it.
Absolutely. Hong Kong again with a given point there. We're seeing too many of these now, and Chinese Taipei are now into a 2-point lead.
Shorts and games are absolutely devastating. It feels more like a -2 than a 1 point to the opposition at times.
Absolutely. It's referred to sometimes as an obstruction there. Completely unintentional, and the ball will be returned via a breakdown. Sometimes in other sports, a close match between two sides in a league table is referred to as a 6-pointer, where it could be 3 points either way, and it's exactly the same with a given point. When you're in possession, the expectation is that you're going to try and gain a point from that, and so conceding a point to the opposition without them having to touch the ball really does feel like more of an obstacle to your play. Hong Kong now with a lovely spun shot, but the Chinese Taipei defence equal to it. 3 passes now, have to shoot, and they do, and Hong Kong catch it high and above. That's 1 pass down. 2 passes across the left shooter who shoots, and again, that's some excellent defence we've seen there. Chinese Taipei come in, shoot, the catch is made, and Hong Kong now have to come to the right-hand side to shoot this. 1 pass left. A lovely switch, shot, and through again the gap between the defender and the right shooter. Hong Kong just narrowing that deficit slightly.
Excellent shot from the number 9 on the left, but that switch from the number 6 opened up the defence.
Absolutely. Sometimes in tchoukball, the praise is always given to the shooter who scores the most points, but the reality is that they're unable to do so if they don't have the support from their their defence and the shooter on the other side, who is normally setting up the play for them. Hong Kong now with 2 points in a row, an excellent element of defence. The play set up for them, and the shot square too far around for the Chinese Taipei defence, who now bring the ball in from the back to the centre. To the right-hand side. Switch to the left, and the shot, and the centre referee has called landing. I hope that you're able to hear, as we can, the amount of support that there is from the crowd here as well. The crowd genuinely invested in this game, and exactly what is going on in the court for some high-quality women's tchoukball, and a given point again from Hong Kong. I think that's 4 now that we've seen from them. We're talking nearly 25%. In fact, over 25% of all the Chinese Taipei points have been ones that Hong Kong have given to them without them having to do anything. Hong Kong with the ball in from the back, across the right-hand side, switch to the left, and a high second-line shot at about 45 degrees. Chinese Taipei just can't quite catch that.
Now, Dom, as an expert defender, how do you cope with height like that? Is there anything the defence can do to manage that shot?
It's a difficult one, really. It's around the shoulders and the head is an awkward height depending on your technique. If you're trying to catch the low shots, then your hands will normally be remaining low, which means you're trying to get up high to move for those. It can be that in some ways, when what you see from the Chinese Taipei and the Hong Kong defence, that they're almost in a low squat position, which allows them to rise up quickly and to try and take those catches. But sometimes tchoukball is a team game, and if you recognise that the shooters are particularly prone to putting it over their shoulders, then the second line will get into place early to try and read the shot almost as they would a front line shot.
And we almost had a second line catch there. Hong Kong being very organised.
Very close indeed. As we've said time and time again, defence will win this match. Well, in fact, gain the medal, really. There's an old proverb that says, attack wins matches, defence wins tournaments. And whilst this match isn't for the entire tournament, it is for the bronze medal, and I still think that as Max alluded to a few times, the Hong Kong defence is what's seen them get into this bronze medal match now. And though they are trailing by 3 points with 1 minute and 15 seconds to go left in the period, they're still very much in this game as long as they can keep that tight defence going. The shot that comes in, and a given point there from Hong Kong. Hong Kong to bring the ball in from the back. Into the defender. Cross to the left-hand side, switch to the right, back to the left. Excellent spun shot. You may have seen the switch from the right had set the Chinese Taipei left shooter. She went down to her knees, which then prompted the rest of the defence to try and cover for her. And the spun shot there that came in was no match for them. Point scored on the second line there, though, from Chinese Taipei, biting right back into this game. 25 seconds left to go in the first period. The ball in from the back now. Hong Kong, again, send it to the left. That's how they seem to set their plays. Looking to shoot second line, but it lands out of court with no touch from the Chinese Taipei defence. With 5 seconds left to go in this game, we'll see if Hong Kong will look to take the shot. I don't think they'll be able to with this amount of time left. No, that's the time gone. And we finish this first period now. 20 to Chinese Taipei, 15 to Hong Kong.
Hong Kong and Chinese Taipei. Third and fourth position. So it's a great match about bronze medal. So in the evening we are preparing the official award ceremony. But right now on the playground everything is possible in this great match between the players of Hong Kong and Chinese Taipei. 2 minutes and 25 seconds left to the start of the second part. Hong Kong 15, Chinese Taipei 20. Last 4 matches of World Championship here in Prague 2023. And we are waiting for the signal of the main referee, Paul Belzani from Italy, and a side referee, Nuria Kosaga and Elizabeth Eleonora Abutsu. And right now, we are going for the part number 2 between Hong Kong and Chinese Taipei.
So Dom, as the saying goes, you can't win a game in the first period, but you can lose it. Have Hong Kong got it all to play for now?
They certainly do. Any side going in from the first period 5 points down will find themselves with a challenge. The second period really is crucial to setting your stall out. But then again, you know, you look at these games and you think not all is over. Italy were winning against Chinese Taipei yesterday in the semi-final by 6 points at the end of the second period, and we went into 2 periods of extra time to settle that. Hong Kong's switching just not quite working out for them. So whilst it is Hong Kong with all to play for, as you've said, Mac, they certainly not a game that's lost by now. Chinese Taipei with an excellent shot there, just between the shooters, low and hard. And Hong Kong bring the ball in from the back. Slight change now. The defenders on the left-hand side, he switches it to the right. The quadruple switch, but the fault is called. I'm unable to see if that was a foot on the line or a landing there. Chinese Taipei with a breakdown now. Switched across. Back again, the left-handed player, and so close on the Hong Kong front line and second line. You see just how close number 26 from Hong Kong got there on second line to try and help out, almost as a backup to the front line who picked it up between them but just weren't quite able to pick it up. Hong Kong in from back now. The long ball sent down to the left shooter who switches it across, got to shoot now, and an excellent shot there. Finds the gap before the Chinese Taipei defender.
That was wonderful work from the left shooter, who was not given the best of long balls, but the athleticism on display to not only recover the ball, but to make a full jump and make the switch was excellent.
Absolutely. Chinese Taipei again shooting high. It seems to be a slight tactic from them from the left on the left-hand side as you're looking at our screens now. Chinese Taipei leading by 7 points, 23-16, as Hong Kong bring the ball in from the back to number 7, returned down the same end it came from. Number 16 sends it back again. One switch left, number 9 picks her gap, but the Chinese Taipei number 8 defender is equal to it. Catching it, returning it to the right shooter, and number 5 finishes into the gap with the Hong Kong left shooter not able to pick that up. She now sends the ball in from the back. Number 16 returns it to the same end. Shooting, and now she's found her gap. Chinese Taipei said, again, have the square, we think you've got you. And the Hong Kong left shooter said, okay, I'm equal to the challenge, and finished well. Chinese Taipei bring the ball in from the back. Interesting now, that's a tactics we've not quite seen before, with the run in and then finish. Very close to touching the ground there, but Hong Kong with an excellent amount of defence. Number 6, the right shooter, picks it up. And the Chinese Taipei defender, number 8, is having a sterling game in the middle there. It's again caught that end. It's now got to go back to the other end, which may have been forgotten about given the ball's being returned, but Hong Kong have remembered with one pass left. It doesn't matter though, because they've shot second line into that gap, and the Chinese Taipei defence not quite equal to that.
How frustrated will they be? Standing up for the high shot, they read it, but they could not get there in time.
There is some element of frustration when you think you've read a shot correctly and you're not quite able to pick it up. But equally, tchoukball is a game where almost the catch there. If you were to extrapolate out the number of points that's been scored so far, you're realistically talking about 100 points being scored across a 45-minute game. The defence getting hung up on one particular shot will not be mentally healthy for them. They need to have the ability to reset, focus quickly on their game again and forget about anything. Learning from their mistakes, but not letting it affect their play badly. Point scored there by the Hong Kong right shooter and Chinese Taipei to bring the ball in from the back.
A timeout called in the centre.
Paolo Dolzani, the main referee, has stopped the time and is about to return it on now. The game restarts now. 11 minutes left in the second period. Chinese Taipei send it down the other end, return it to the same end. And Hong Kong pick it up in the right shooter position. Number 26 comes through, switches to the left, back to the right. And even if the Chinese Taipei right shooter there had gathered that ball cleanly, her right knee was already in the forbidden zone, and therefore it would have been a point to Hong Kong. Looks like Hong Kong have made a change now, swapping the two defensive ends. We'll see how Chinese Taipei reacts to that. The gap now down to 5 points, the same as it was at the beginning of the second period. Chinese Taipei with an excellent shot down the line there. 20 degrees, low, hard, and the Hong Kong left shooter, who this is her first look at this Chinese Taipei right shooter, had no answer for that. Ball in from the back from Hong Kong, number 4. Switches across from the right, left back to the right, who shoots square and scored. One of the things you rarely see in a women's game, Mac, is a shooter who's able to consistently hit both square and down the line shots, and we're seeing that more and more in this game now. The attack here really giving the defences something to think about.
There's an excellent range on display here from all shooters, particularly the Hong Kong number 6. That was not a square, that was a beyond, and they are seldom seen in every format of this game. Wonderful, difficult to catch shot.
Hong Kong now with the ball down the left-hand side, shooting, and again the point is scored. Whilst Hong Kong's change may not have helped them quite yet in defence on the right-hand side, the shooting prowess that they're showing down the left-hand side is certainly helping out their game plan. Chinese Taipei returning the ball down the left-hand side. Number 4 switches across. The shot now low, hard, and about 80 degrees. The Hong Kong defence had read it nicely, but just not quite able to get it back. Hong Kong now have switched across, and the Chinese Taipei that almost went across all 3 of the Chinese Taipei defence on the front line. Not quite able to gather that, and they will bring the ball in from the back now. In the front row of the crowd, you may be able to see the Hong Kong men's team, who are supporting their women's team with everything they can, sounding horns, clapping, cheering loudly. It's always interesting sometimes to see who the neutral nations are supporting in tchoukball. Quite often, if a European side is playing an Asian side, then both continents will support their own. Or potentially a Spanish-speaking side, say Spain are playing, then some of the Spanish-speaking sides from South America will be supporting them in that match. It's really interesting to see the dynamics, but ultimately tchoukball is a very community-driven sport. Unless the support for sides that you may have no emotional investment in at these levels is always great to see. Cheering on players to do their best to improve their game plan at all levels. Chinese Taipei almost dropping the ball there, but gathered nicely, and the gap in the Hong Kong defence. 3 passes has been called by a combination of the referees. Hong Kong taking the breakdown quickly, but Chinese Taipei are equal to that. The left shooter gathering the ball there, sending it into the centre. He returns it. No, she doesn't. She sends it to the other end. Switch across. I thought she'd lost control of that ball, but the Hong Kong left shooter with a nice catch there. Hong Kong now bring the ball down the right-hand side. Switch to number 11, who is caught at about face height by the Chinese Taipei defender. Down the left, returned to the right by the long ball. The left-handed left shooter switches across, and Hong Kong almost gathering the ball there, but not quite able to. The gap in between these two sides has fluctuated between 5 and 8 points in this period. It currently sits at a 6-point gap. Defence is still key in this game. Taiwanese Taipei, they're not quite able to gather the ball as it just landed underneath one of their shins in their attempt to gather and move around the defence. Bring the ball in from the back, number 8.
With top switching that we're seeing here, how difficult is it to move around the D in a hastily manner?
It is incredibly difficult, and that's part of what brings switching into the game and how important it is to the shooter who's meant to be scoring the point, as we see Hong Kong defend really nicely there, but then I think it's gathered by Chinese Taipei there. Any form of switch is going to move the defence, and the ability to score against somebody who's moving is always going to be easier than it is against somebody who's in a stationary defence. But with the top quality switching, you're looking to hold them for as long as possible before sending it across to the other side and giving your opposition shooter the maximum number of gaps and space to be able to hit. As a defence, you've really got to try and read that well, especially as we're seeing from both sides here, playing a 3-1-3 formation. There are going to be a lot of gaps on defence, and it's just about how you manage that, whether you want to be moving into the gaps to try and catch the ball, or whether you want to try and shut down the shooter's favourite shot as they move around their defence. Hong Kong switching the ball across, a long ball back now to the right-hand side on the right, but a given point shot there. Unfortunate, really. All of the Chinese Taipei remaining on the ground there. I don't know if they're struggling with some of the fatigue with the tournament, but they'll get back up now. Hong Kong returning the ball in. And another given point has been conceded by Hong Kong. They really are letting this slip there. This must be, what, 8 or 9, Mac?
It's a substantial amount. And even at this early stage of the game, it is going to be very detrimental to the later stages.
Absolutely. When you consider the gap is 8 points at this moment, even if we're slightly high in our estimations, Hong Kong have definitely shot 6 or 7 as given points now. And if you imagine even half of those being converted to points for Hong Kong, this match would be level or even with Hong Kong in the lead at this point. Chinese Taipei again stretching their lead out slightly. It's now to 9 points, 34-25. Ball in from the back now from Hong Kong. Sends it to the left shooter. Cross to the right, who runs in and attacks back to the left. Picked up by the right shooter of Chinese Taipei. Sent into the centre. Play is decided. Reset. Left shooter to the right shooter, who shoots and caught. One pass used in the defence. Hong Kong not quite sure what to do with that, but they've decided now. And a high shot again. Oh, so close on second line. The Chinese Taipei number 3 there. Coming in to try and sweep up the ball, but just not quite able to gather. An excellent effort nonetheless. Chinese Taipei with the ball in from the back. Again, that one that we've seen where it's returned to the same end via a run into the D. An excellent low, hard shot from the Chinese Taipei number 10 there. Just not able to be gathered by the Hong Kong defence, who bring the ball in from the back. Cross to the right-hand side. Looks for the switch, finds it, switch back again. And caught by the Chinese Taipei defence. I don't think that was quite where she intended for that ball to go. Back to Chinese Taipei. We shoot hard, low, but it's... The end referee has called a given point, but the main referee has overruled and said that the point from Chinese Taipei was good. It's now a 10-point game, 36-26. Hong Kong switch the ball twice. Chinese Taipei left shooter gathers that easily in her stride. They've got to be able to get around her more easily. There's a few catches she's had now, and Hong Kong need to work out if she's catching them all, they need to be aiming to a different gap or at a different person. Almost some excellent second line defence there from Chinese Taipei, but that doesn't quite pay off for them. Mac, if you've got one defender on the line who's catching everything and is really playing well, how do you vary your game to try and take them out of the game and to get the initiative back for yourself?
If the option isn't there to go take a breather, which occasionally it will be, I will quite often try some different shots out, or I will try working with my partner, communicating change of pace, these subtle changes can make all the difference in a game like this.
Absolutely. Such an intricate balance between small elements of the game that can make a massive change to how the game turns out. Point scored there by the Hong Kong right shooter, number 11. And the horns in the crowd sound an appreciation again. Chinese Taipei to bring the ball in from the back. 2 minutes left of this period. Ball sent out to the left-hand side. Switch to the right-hand side. And the point is scored there. Excellent consistency seen by the Chinese Taipei.
We will be seeing some tired legs. This is day 4 of the tournament, I believe. It is a long format.
Absolutely right. In some respects, some players will see that as beneficial, in that potentially they have less time on court during each day, and therefore they have a longer period over which to rest and reset. But other players will think that actually the ability to have it all in a shorter period means that the cumulative fatigue building up in your legs, and for the shooters, the arms potentially and the shoulders as well, doesn't quite have the same amount of time to build up. So by day 3, you might be less fatigued than day 4, but everybody works differently. Hong Kong shooting there, but picked up by the Chinese Taipei right shooter. An athletic, deceptive attempt at a pass by the Chinese Taipei number 4 before she sends it to the left shooter number 7, who pierces the Hong Kong defence to take the score now 12 points ahead. Chinese Taipei on 40 and Hong Kong 28 as Hong Kong bring the ball in from the back to the left-hand side. Switched across to the right from the defender, who sends it back down long to the other end. Something you can see number 9 from Hong Kong there doing is just as she's running in, she's looking at the Chinese Taipei second line to work out if she's able to get that second line shot in. With just 14 seconds left of the game now, Hong Kong trying to work out exactly how to maximise their time here. The defender sends the ball to the shooter, whose long ball is wayward and inaccurate, and Chinese Taipei have 3 seconds to decide what they want to do with it. I suspect they'll try and shoot here. But the buzzer goes just as the Hong Kong number 4 takes an excellent catch on front line. So while she may be walking off the court with a moral victory, Chinese Taipei have again scored 20 points, very consistent, and Hong Kong have scored 13 points in that period. The score at the end, 40 to Chinese Taipei, 28 to Hong Kong, with 1 period to go.
But right now we are still waiting for the third period between Hong Kong and Chinese Taipei. Hong Kong 28, Chinese 40. So we are looking forward for your support. 2 minutes and 20 seconds still left for the first seconds of the third period in women's category. Bronze contest, Hong Kong and Chinese Taipei. Last 50 seconds. Last 50 seconds to the start of the third period. Thank you. Thank you that you are still with us for the bronze contest. Please show us that you are here, because ladies from Hong Kong and Chinese Taipei need to hear you. Show us who is the supporter of Team Hong Kong. Hong Kong, but a very good position before the third part has the second team. And who is the fan of Chinese Taipei? Thank you. Right now, we are starting the period number 3.
We line up now for the final period. Hong Kong 28, Chinese Taipei 40. There is a lot of work for them to do, but given there is a medal on the line, I'm sure they are ready to go and do it.
And that's exactly what we've seen from the first point. Hong Kong showing their intent not to give in without a fight. Scoring low and hard against the Chinese Taipei defence. Chipping away at that lead was exactly what they need to do. The Hong Kong defence thought they'd pick that up there, but it bounced just before it got to them. Hong Kong now with the ball in from the back. Across to the right-hand side. The shot is picked up by the Chinese Taipei defence. Concession of one pass. Chinese Taipei now have to shoot, and they do so, just stretching out that lead again. One thing Hong Kong have to be cognizant of, as you look at the screens there, the score is in fact incorrect. It should be Chinese Taipei 42, Hong Kong 29, which is what we're seeing in the stadium. There we go, the score is correct again. One thing Hong Kong have to do, which is key in this game if they are to try and get anything out of it, is not to panic and not to rush. The idea that they are fighting for points is absolutely right, but if they are rushing their play in order to achieve this, then they will just find themselves slipping further behind as they make more and more mistakes. And we've already seen several given points contributing to that Chinese Taipei lead. The last thing they need to be doing is contributing more to that as well. Hong Kong now with a lovely option ball out to the number 16, who sends it down to the right shooter at the other end, who has a large gap to hit, but it's another given point. We've talked about them. They just keep coming. One of the things you may be able to see in the crowd behind you as well is a couple of players trading shirts. One of the Bishop players there posing for a photo with one of the Italians. One thing that happens a lot at tchoukball competitions is this sense of community and the memories that come with it as well, which often is players who have fought hard against each other, played hard, end up trading shirts at the end as an eternal memory of the competition that they've played, which is a fundamental groundstone, or touchstone rather, of the tchoukball community worldwide. Hong Kong now again with that option ball. We haven't seen that a huge amount, but it's now returned down to the same end. And the Hong Kong number 4 shooting low, hard, and just at the knees of the Chinese Taipei right shooter, who's unable to gather.
Excellent shot from the commentary booth. We had an excellent view of that, and it was precise.
In all sports, precision is paramount. But sometimes the fine margins of tchoukball push that more than most, and it is the difference of millimetres as to whether that shot is landing in the defender's hands, inside the forbidden zone, or scoring a point, as Hong Kong do again there. The gap at 12 points now, as it was at the end of the second period. Chinese Taipei just taking a second to reset the defence there, but the pass isn't brilliant, and the number 4 has to scramble to recover. Put out to the right-hand side. And Hong Kong defence, you can hear they're on a roll now. They're backing each other up. The crowd is helping their performance as well.
It's not really just the crowd. The bench from Hong Kong is going wild.
And with a shot like that, who can blame them? An excellent spin shot, deceiving the Chinese Taipei right shooter there, number 8, who isn't able to gather it in. The centre referee was very close to calling 3 seconds there. You can watch him counting to make sure that Chinese Taipei are not using too much time. And Hong Kong are still on a roll. A timeout was just called there as the Chinese Taipei right shooter looked to have potentially injured herself at the feet of the end referee, but she's indicated pretty quickly that she is fine and able to carry on. Hong Kong will have the ball as they had gathered it there. It's the right shooter. He shoots and scores again. Hong Kong are really reeling this back in. This must be, what, 4 points in a row, Mac, with some excellent turnovers?
It's wonderful scenes. Hong Kong have recognised they will need to make a cauldron atmosphere if they are to put pressure on the Chinese Taipei team.
Absolutely difficult to do when you're away from home. But Hong Kong, in all respects, on the court, on the bench, in the stands, are doing everything they can to put their players in the best mindset, and it's clearly working for them in this crucial period of the game. Chinese Taipei with an excellent pick up there on front line. Sending it into the middle, who send it to the other end. The right shooter shoots high, but just off the frame, and therefore it will be the Hong Kong ball in the middle of the court. Number 16 to take the breakdown. Sending it down to the left-hand side, but not a particularly good switch, who again isn't sent particularly well, so all the passes have to be used in resetting. And what a reset it was. That square shot that you don't always see has definitely come into play from the Hong Kong number 6. She has been shooting very well this entire
Chinese Taipei controversially arguing with the referee there. Do you believe they were looking for an obstruction violation?
It's hard to tell, really. It's possible. Again, an excellent catch from Hong Kong there. But sometimes I think arguing with the referees within the game only seeks to distract you from your ultimate point. Hong Kong there recognising that this shot realistically could not be taken and would more likely result in them conceding a given point, so electing just to put the ball down. That would have been given point, but the landing from the centre referee was called first. Yeah, Mac, you're absolutely right. Sometimes players think the call has been given incorrectly, but the way to deal with that is in a respectful way in terms of talking to the officials, who more often than not are also players as well, and also participate under the same umbrella of the tchoukball charter, which should underpin everything we do within the game. Chinese Taipei with a shot down the line there, which the Hong Kong left shooter was just unable to gather.
Not just your opinion, but the wise words of Chris Wang, president of the FITB, in his opening presentation speech at this very tournament.
And who can say more than that? Chinese Taipei with 2 passes there to gather the ball. The left shooter now has to shoot, and again that shoulder height shot is paying dividends for both sides, particularly on this left-hand side. It's interesting, probably coincidental really, that it's both happening down the left-hand side as you see it on the camera. We haven't really seen that high shot come in from any of the shooters from the left as you look down to the right-hand side of the court. Hong Kong again conceding a given point. We're up to about 9 or 10 at this point, and this is fully 20% of Chinese Taipei's points. Hong Kong switching the ball across the D now. Shooting and not able to be gathered on front line by Chinese Taipei. Another point to Hong Kong. The gap back to 12, the same as it was at the end of the second period, but Hong Kong, with time ticking away now, 8 minutes left in this period, really have to be able to start rack up these points, as they did in that period where they scored 4 in a row earlier in this period. They need to be able to do that again consistently to have any hope of reeling in Chinese Taipei. Hong Kong now take the shot. It's a 45-degree shot, hard, low. Chinese Taipei almost picking it up, but as they picked it up, it went back towards the centre of the forbidden zone, and Chinese Taipei not able to get that. Number 12 now sends it back down the end it came from the back line. Pass not brilliant, so it's switched across. And the catch. Hong Kong are trying to get themselves on a roll again with that catch. One more pass left now. Will she shoot or switch? She switches across. And the spin shot is caught by Chinese Taipei number 5. And almost an excellent second line catch there from the Hong Kong player, running up from where she was, but just unable to gather. The ball sent in from the back now from Hong Kong. Number 7 returns it to the same end. Back down now. Got to shoot, and she does with the use of 1 pass. Hong Kong will now gather in defence, and they take that catch again, but just the enthusiasm isn't quite there in the same way. They realise they need to get on this roll. She'll be hearing it, waiting for the point or the second catch. And like I said earlier in this game, it's important for Hong Kong not to start to panic and to start to try and throw the miracle balls, the Hail Mary passes. Just play their own game, because that is how they'll win this game. So far they've stuck in this. It's exactly the same points difference as it was at the beginning of the period. But if they keep making mistakes like that, and an excellent catch again, as they've seen, then that's how they'll start to slip away. So they need to regain their focus now. 1 pass left. The shot, a lovely spin shot, and it beats the Chinese Taipei player on their right-hand side. Hong Kong narrowing that deficit again, but they just need to keep going with this. Chinese Taipei now with the ball in from the back. To the right-hand side, switch to the left. The left-handed player shoots a given point. Chinese Taipei will again have the ball from the back. And just a little bit of game management there. The shooter starting to walk away and leaving it for the defender. Just gathered there, who sends it back down to the right-hand side. On her knees, passing it to the right shooter. Chinese Taipei being caught there by Hong Kong. Something you rarely see in the women's game, actually, is the option of the shoot-back Mac, and we've seen a couple of occasions where potentially in the men's game you see fewer defenders on the line. Do you want to talk through what's going in your mind when you think about shooting back after a catch like that?
It's an incredibly difficult process. You're ordinarily on your knees, and ascending from your knees to a full vertical leap in a matter of seconds, if not microseconds, is very challenging. I think here what we're seeing is a lot more game management. I think very calm and composed. We've seen Chinese Taipei attempt a couple, but Hong Kong, if they'll want to get back in this game, may need to implement something similar, because it is an efficient way of racking up points very quickly.
Absolutely, and you'll sometimes see defenders in both forms, men's and women's, of the game, in a position where, and as we see now, Hong Kong taking the quick shot against 2 defenders, but they're not quite able to get through. Some shooters or some defenders will be playing with one leg up as a high-risk, high-reward strategy to try and catch the ball and leave themselves in a better position to jump and shoot back immediately against the defence that's still trying to gather to regain that. But the high risk there comes with the knee up. The shooters will have more of an option to score against that. Hong Kong now again scoring. They've narrowed this gap to 9 points. It's an excellent effort in this final period. With 4 minutes to go now, you fear a 9-point gap may be just too difficult to reel in, but Hong Kong are not letting that get away from them. They're having one of these moments again where they're catching a lot, regaining that difference in their favour. As the defence struggle to get round there, and Chinese Taipei score the point, 51-41.
Hong Kong appear to be making lots of changes, whilst ordinarily that is reserved for a game you have perhaps lost sight of. I think making the changes and keeping it fresh is actually reinvigorating them, giving them the edge in this period in particular.
Absolutely. Chinese Taipei have been very professional throughout this game. They're very cognizant of the game management that they require to see this game out. And they've recovered well, actually, from what you consider to be a relatively damaging defeat from them in the semi-finals against Italy, albeit after 2 periods of extra time. To come back and finish this tournament strong, put themselves in a good position. 11 points up with 3 minutes left to go in this period. Although Hong Kong will try and reduce that gap as much as they can, and there we are, seeing them reducing it again to 10 points. Hong Kong have now just 2.5 minutes left. They've got to be catching all of these Chinese Taipei shots. They just can't quite manage it there. A couple of the left-handed players we're seeing coming down from Chinese Taipei to work on this side. Then this is the number 12 who's running second line for both ends. She's the 1 in the 3-1-3 formation, but almost catching it there on second line. She is still running through to shoot, mostly on the left, on this right-hand side as we look at the court. 10 points the difference with 2 minutes to go.
Chinese Taipei have managed this game perfectly. Let's not forget Hong Kong knocked out the world #1 ranked women's team at Singapore earlier on in this competition. So Chinese Taipei have really had to give it their everything here, be organised, keep the mistakes out of the game, and they've done that well. With less than 2 minutes left, it seems they've done the job.
Absolutely. Even with Hong Kong leading this period by 1 point, as it stands, with the switch across, now 2 points as the Chinese Taipei catches that between her heels, which is not allowed under the rules of the game. Hong Kong now winning this period by 2, but it's still not enough to overcome that 12-point deficit that Chinese Taipei relentlessly racked up over the course of the first 2 periods. An excellent dig on second line, but she just stepped out of court first before she managed to do that. And therefore the point is conceded. Hong Kong with the ball in from the back to number 7, who returns it to the same end. The 6, again an end swap for her. But she has switched across, and the number 4 for Hong Kong, again a very consistent player, shoots spun low and hard to about 40 degrees. Chinese Taipei looking a little bit wayward, so the number 9 resets there. Shooting now from number 12, as we picked up earlier, running in from the centre of the court. 56 to 45 with 30 seconds left in this game. It's been an excellent advert for tchoukball, Mac, hasn't it? This, not just this game, but the entire competition leading up to this, and you've alluded to some great matches leading up as well with Singapore and Italy and Switzerland too.
I think the overwhelming feeling from all the players on court, as well as those in the crowd and in the commentary booth even, will be we want to get back on court, we want to get playing again, because this looks like so much fun.
Excellent catch there from Hong Kong, the second line using 2 of their passes. The number 4 has to shoot now, she does, and it's straight at the Chinese Taipei number 5. With 1 second to go, the shot doesn't quite come in time, but Hong Kong have still gathered it. Hong Kong won that final period by 2 points, but it's not enough to overcome that 12-point deficit. And after an excellent game of tchoukball to decide the bronze medal, it's been won by Chinese Taipei, 56 points to 46. Thank you very much for listening. I've been Dom Lefevre-Ran. Co-commentating with me has been Mac Hofberg. Thank you very much.
World Championship. And this is the joy from the team who secured the bronze medal. Please, once again, bronze medalist and the Chinese Taipei. And big thank for the performance for the team who finished on the 4th position. There are players from Hong Kong. Chinese Taipei. And we are waiting for the official award ceremony in the evening.